Good evening and welcome to SAFRL Season 5, Round 5 here in COTA. Obviously we did this all on Monday night, we're doing it all again. This time we're doing it for Tier 2. Wonder how many of these guys will have watched that race, see what they could have learned. Guys going out on track already. That's a Red Bull. Just a reminder, just the one quali session, 18 minutes long. No Q2, no Q3, so this will be your starting order. That's why we see a packed pit exit. Everybody needs to get out there, set a lap time. As wide as this track is, it's a big one for corner cutting. So if you're going to invalidate a run or two, you want to get this one in early. When you're pushing, you might invalidate, and that'll end in disaster. Welcome to Dion in the comments section. Always joining us in the comment section, keeping us company. He is sitting out this quali session with a quali ban. So he will be starting from the final row. This is Tyler Boy for Alpine. Just the 16 runners today. Unless anybody is joining late and joining in qualifying. But for now, just the 16 runners. This is the Red Bull. We have no lap times yet. This is Maggot. I believe he will be the first man out on track to set a fast time. He was the first one out of the pits. Best thing about being first one out of the pits in a quali session is you don't need to worry about the traffic. And as expected, goes purple in the first sector. He will go purple ever so briefly. Top Gun. A lot of drivers now beginning their fast laps. So there's confirmation. Big T, as he's known on the game, or Tian as he's known in the comment section. He's retired from the session, won't take any further part in qualifying, and he'll start from the back of the field. Another driver with a quali ban is Kratos, so we will probably see him retire as well. That first lap time is in. It's a 1:33.9. Now we're going to see an Alpine go over the line. Let's see how it compares. I think he must have made a mistake on that lap. 1:35.5. We ride with Top Gun. This corner right here, a replica of the one in Turkey. It's Ferrari, goes fastest, 1:32.9. And now Top Gun sets his lap time, 1:34.6. It's good enough for P5. Akmagozi over the line, 1:36.5. Good enough for 8th place. Mr. M is also retired. from the session. I'm not sure if that's as a result of a penalty or if he made a mistake out on circuit. We didn't see. Moller, this is the beginning of a fast lap, and he might just find a slow-moving Aston Martin on the exit. But good work from the Aston Martin to steer clear. Moller through the S's. This is riding on board with Moller. Tiley Boy retiring from the session with a 135.5. So he will go no better than 8th place. 8th place, best case scenario. Moller, no lap time from him as of yet. Should be able to get a lap time on the board shortly unless he's invalidated this lap. Long right-hander that never seems to end. One of the best parts of the race circuit. Now into the final corner. Gonna take just enough curb, get the best traction out of the corner, and it's good enough for P4, 133.8. Top 3 are in the pits. P4's on his way to the pits, so now we have a quiet period out on track. Is this Loki going around yet again? His current best is a 134.2. I don't think he was able to improve. Here we ride with John. No lap time from this Williams driver, his teammate up in P4. That's Moller. Let's see what he can do now. He goes up into, well, not quite sure. That's his P12 139.0. Might have just been charging up to have another go. And look up at the top left, just 10 minutes to go. Welcome to Ian in the comment section, saying there's some big names, and the two names mentioned happen to be in P1 and P2. I had a pole position prediction time earlier on, and that was from Tian. That was between a 132.5 and a 132.7. Really close to the 132.7, just 2/10 off it. A lot of cars on outlaps. Kratos on a second run with what appears to be used tyres. Not the only man out on circuit using that strategy, going out on the second run using basically a scrubbed set of tyres. Maybe looking to just have that extra set for the race. I was told that Kratos had a grid penalty, but he has set a lap time. That is a 135.4, and I'm not sure if I was just mistaken. If I was, apologies, but I was under the impression that this Aston Martin was under a grid penalty, but he has set a lap time. Up at the front, it's Ferrari still on provisional pole. That's a 132.9. Nobody's even near it at this point. He's on an outlap. Ulrich also out on track. Both looking to improve with just over 7 minutes to go. Pretty long circuit, 5.5 kilometers. Takes a while to get around here. Don't want to leave it too late. If you don't get it right the first time, it's not going to be time for that second run. Ulrich 133.7. That is P2. And then P1 is a 132.9. 8/10 of a second. Cover the top two cars. That's quite the gap. This is the provisional pole sitter's teammate, Pantry Star, currently P3. This would be a good result for Alfa Romeo. Remember, it's Ferrari, the winner of your last 3 races, if you don't count the sprint race. So feature races, the last 3 races, I believe have been won by it's Ferrari. And was it Big T that won that first round? I'm not even sure. I wasn't commentating in Tier 2 back then. Pantry Star has improved. But look at the gap between first and second. It's Ferrari goes right between our pole position prediction, which was between a 132.5 and a 132.7. He's done a 132.6 right straight down the middle. His teammate's gone P2, but the gap between the two is an incredible 1 second. Ulrich demoted to P3, Moller P4. We've got Stig, currently in P7, a 134.5. Times here in the midfield are pretty close. As for its Ferrari out front, well, everybody else in the field better be hoping that that car is set up for 1 lap pace and it's going to feel terrible in the race. But if that translates to race pace, well, I think we're going to see more of the same. The second of the 2 Red Bulls, Rakwa. I have no idea how to pronounce that, so I'm just Rakwa, I don't know, P9. Also looking for a little something a little better. Got a 135.3 at the moment. And if Kratos does have a quali ban, then he's not listening to the stream either, because he's gonna go out on a second run. This is Moller. He's heading off into turn 1 for another run. This will be a fast lap. Currently P4, 133.8. 2 cars ahead of him, 133.7, 133.6. So he could easily put himself onto the front row, P2 that is. If he wants to get himself into P1, well, he's got to find himself 1.2 seconds. And if anybody tells me I've got to find 1.2 seconds when I'm already pushing, well, is that a little bit of help there from the Williams? Seems like that was some good team play, just giving his teammate John, just giving Muller a little bit of slipstream down the back straight. That little bit of help, every tenth is going to help. All he really needs is 2.5 tenths, and it will put him up onto the front row for now. Pantry Star and Ulrich both on outlaps. As his provisional pole sitter, he doesn't think that's enough. He wants a little bit more. For now, Muller goes around the final corner. He's going to go over the line for what will be his final run of the evening. John has returned to the pits. Ulrich, Pantry Star, it's Fari, your top three, all on outlaps. Obviously, the Circuit of Americas is the first track where F1 really worked here in the US. All other attempts had failed up until this point, and it's the first purpose-built F1 circuit in the USA. It's free. Current pole sitter 132.6. Is this him starting a fast lap? I believe it is. Current best 132.6. Let's spend some time with your provisional pole sitter. See what he's doing out there. Has he backed out of that? Yeah, it seems like he's backed out of that. Pantry Star. Currently P2. But that P2, I just can't get over that gap. Checkered flag has fallen. For half the cars on the track, their session is over. For the other half of the cars, this is their moment, this is their time. The last opportunity, and you'll know if this lap is worth finishing, if you've got that little extra, if you're in the green. And if you're not going to make up time, you'll just see guys jumping off the throttle. Now Ulrich goes into the last corner, onto the straight, not a long run until the finish line, and it's good enough for P2. Pantry Star, is he able to get back into P2? No, he does not. So Ulrich ruining the Alfa Romeo front row. Now we ride with Loki in the McLaren. This will also be his final run of the evening. Obviously, checkered flag has fallen. He's currently in P7, 134.2. Finds 2 tenths here, and it's going to be really helpful. And he does pick up the 1 position at the end. Loki goes up into P6. Who's still out on track? No, there's a blue car out on track. Just don't know which one. Seems like the session is over for everybody. No one else out on track doing a fast lap. No one's going to improve. But we will wait for those official results. just in case we have some surprising penalties. And there we go, there's your official results for qualifying for the American Grand Prix. It's Ferrari takes pole position, 132.6. Ulrich takes P2, 4LP, and then Pantry Star the second, Alfa Romeo P3. Moller the first of the two, Williams in fourth, Maggot P5, Loki P6, John P7. Then we got Stig in P8, Top Gun P9, Kratos P10. Then outside the top 10 we've got Rockway 11, Tiley Boy 12, Apmagozi 13, Big T 14, and I think the other two got the quali ban. I missed two drivers at the end there, I apologize. So now we get the familiar sights of an abandoned pit lane while all the action is happening out on the grid. Now obviously the guys will be doing final touch-ups to their strategies. What tyres to start on, fuel levels, what do they anticipate from this race? Obviously we've got dry weather. As far as we know in the forecast, so no surprises with the weather. Just really about what tyre you want to start on. Do you expect an early safety car? And there we go. There are your red lights, and soon they'll disappear, and then these cars will disappear. And there we go. It's Ferrari leads the way from Ulrich, Pantry Star P3. The car's staying in order 4 now. Howell turn 1B. We've got a Red Bull that seems to be a little bit of a mess. We've got a yellow flag. Not quite sure what happened there. We've got a car falling down the order. That's Maggot to Red Bull. Moller has lost a few positions as well. Down into P7, your leader, it's Ferrari. P2, his teammate, Pantry Star. Loki's made a good start. He's up into P3. Good start for John as well at the cost of his teammate. He's up into P4. Then Rakwa, P5. Top Gun, P6. Moller, as we mentioned, down to P7. Maggot, P8. Big T and Mr. M already P9 and 10. What are the strategies that we will see? You know, I've commentated on this race 3 times this week, and I just asked that question. Because honestly, I still don't know what strategies we'll see. Because every one of those races was safety car affected. And in some cases, multiple safety cars. We had a sprint race with 3 of them. Big T, Mr. M, still P9 and 10, holding station. It's Ferrari, leads from his teammate Pantry Star as he sets a purple there. That gap not getting too out of control. Pantry Star keeping his teammate honest for now. Let's have a look at your tires. Can get a better understanding of what's happening, who's on what tire. Okay, so seems like nothing too interesting happening there. Top 11 drivers, all on a set of mediums. Ulrich, P12 on a set of hards. And then Gotzi in the Merc, he's on a set of softs. Rest of your drivers in the field, all on mediums. So everybody seeing the strategy the same way, it seems. Ulrich going on hards. I think he knew he was starting from the back, needed something different. And now Loki thinking of getting involved with this Alfa Romeo duo. Just starting to peek his nose out, thinking about it. not quite making any moves just yet. Early on in the race, long way to go. If you've got the pace to pass him, you can take a lap or two, figure out where you're going to do it, and make sure you get it right. Don't do anything rash. Still 26 laps to go. Remember how, no matter how good your strategy may be, a broken wing changes it all. For now, the Alfa Romeos lead the way. Leading Williams is John. That is the position his teammate actually started in. Muller started in P4, but he's lost a couple positions. Seems like the field is just balancing out a little bit. Mr. M has made up a position. Big T has lost a position. Mr. M up into 8th place. Maggot P9, Kratos P10. And then Big T, the man with the keyboard in his cockpit, he's in P11. A little further down the field is two names that are going to confuse me eventually. P12, well, just changed, thanks for that. Stig just went P13, but P12 and P14, Amagozi and Gozi, I don't know. They're incredibly similar. It's Ferrari still leads the way, but that gap not growing by any considerable margin, just 0.7 of a second. As now DRS is surely going to come into play, and will we see a fight between the Alfa Romeos? And the answer is not right now. Maggot becomes the first DNF of the evening, and safety car conditions for the first time tonight. Harley Boy decided to make a pit stop under safety car, and he's sped into the pit lane. As a result, 5 seconds. Wonder if he had damage. Came in and got rid of a relatively new set of mediums. Harley Boy now emerges from the pits on a brand new set of softs. The other driver on softs is Gotzi. I thought we might see him dive into the pits. I thought the drivers that started on softs may utilize an early safety car to get rid of those tires, but he's hung on to those softs. And in fact, the man that started on hards got rid of the hards. So, even when you've been commentating on COTA all week, don't make predictions. Obviously, COTA is a circuit that has many corners inspired by other tracks around the world. May also be a result of the only track designer in the world apparently is Herman Tilke. If you let the same guy make all the tracks, eventually he's going to run out of ideas. Loki heading down now into the SS section, which is obviously modelled after the famous Maggots and Beckett's. Gotta say, it doesn't feel like Maggots and Beckett's, but Maggots and Beckett's just has a different feel to it altogether. And then the one I find most interesting And if you were listening to the stream on Monday night, I mentioned this already, but when I commentate on COTA 3 times a week, I'm going to repeat myself. That final corner and the pit entry is modelled on the final corner and the pit entry right here at home at Kyalami. Still waiting for a few cars at the back of the field. Might get another lap of this. Corner they're going through right now is modelled after Malaysia. And then they follow into this corner here, which is followed after... Actually, they're heading into it now. This is modelled after a corner in Turkey. And actually, this corner has been repeated several times. This corner was also in Sochi. Safety car will be coming in this lap. As you can see, it's already in the pit lane, and Tier2 has backed up this field as much as possible. Remember, in that first stint we saw before the safety car, Tier2 wasn't really able to clear the field as I thought he would. We saw that pace he had in qualifying, and I thought he jumped the field early on. He wasn't able to clear his teammate. We'll see if he's able to clear his teammate this time around. And there we go, green flag, we're underway yet again. It's Tier2, Pantry Star. He's got quite a jump on his teammate, so no real threat there into turn 1. The top 3 follow through line of stern. No incidents further back that I can see. Everybody's through turn 1 cleanly, and that's what you want to see. Lap 6 of 28, and we're back underway racing. Nice helicopter shot there. It's Tier2 leading from Pantry Star. Loki still holding on to the Aston Martins. John in P4. Top Gun, P5. Followed by his teammate, Big T, the two horses running 5th and 6th. Rakwa, P7. Mr. M still in P8. And that McLaren is ghosting. So I wonder if he's having some sort of a connection issue. Hopefully we'll see him back in the race shortly. Ulrich, P10. That McLaren will just fall down the order until he's able to take control of it again. Here we have Moller, who's obviously changed his strategy completely. Started in P4. Didn't have the best start, went down to P7, decided to pit under the safety car, got rid of the mediums he started with, and now he's on a fresh set of hards. So, big strategy change for Moller, and at least the car in front of him is Mr. M. He's ghosting, so he's at least guaranteed to get up into the top 10 with ease. And he's just passed Mr. M, so his next target will be Ulrich up the road, and that may be a slightly more difficult target. It's Tier2 leads by 0.8 of a second, gap bigger than it's been before. Then Loki in P3, John still holding on to P4. And the Haas drivers, P5, P6. I'm sure all these teammates are in communication. If one is clearly faster, I'm sure we're going to see switches in the field. But Top Gun and Big T, both very competitive drivers. And I wonder if that was the switch. Was that the switch? I think that was the switch. Top Gun made that easy, and Big T up into P5. Well, Big T's driving really quickly today. I suppose he He doesn't have the keyboard in the cockpit this time around. He's concentrating. His next target will be John up the road. That's 1.2 seconds up the road, so he's got a ways to go. Race control confirms DRS is back in the game. See a few people are watching, but the comment section is completely dead, so I'm going to assume that everyone watching is a driver. If you're not a driver, let me know you're here. Say hi and give me a prediction for the podium finishes. So far, those podium finishes would be It's Free, Pantry and Loki. Those three have dominated the top three up until now. Haven't let anyone else up onto a podium step. We have a caution at Stig DNFs, and will this trigger a safety car? Doesn't say safety car on our screens just yet. And there we go, safety car. Not quite sure why I get these notifications so late. You can see the way the drivers were driving that it seemed to be a safety car. But the official notification comes up pretty late. In fact, the safety car is already out on track by the time I get that notification. Welcome to the comment section. So Tintario. I'm terrible at reading names. Tintario. There we go. Safety car yet again. So drivers will be utilizing the pit lane this time, and it's free. The man who has led this race took pole position and has dominated from turn 1. But now he goes down into P4. Decides to change things up. He's going on the hard tyre. His teammate, on the other hand, has stuck to the plan. Seems like he's staying on those mediums. He actually had the misfortune of having his teammate right in front of him. If he decided to pit, he was going to lose a lot of time because of the double stack. Because the cars were very close together, they would double stack. And if he pits now that the field has really been compressed, he will come out at the back of the field. Behind Tylee Boy, he'll be in P14. So does Pantry Star stay out on the mediums? He has missed out on the free pit stop. Big T, another one of the drivers that made a switch. It's Free, Loki, John and Big T. They all made the switch, as well as Top Gun, Rukwa, Kratos and Mr. M. They all got rid of their mediums and jumped onto a set of hards. Now it's lap 9 of 28. Can those hards do 20 laps? I believe they can. I think I had a run here on Friday night of 15 or 16 laps on the medium, so I think it's possible to go to the end. And remember, every time we get a safety car, it's just going to extend that tyre life a little bit, because the guys are driving around slowly, they're not taking everything out of the tyre, and it's just going to extend the tyre life just a little bit. This is the second safety car. of the race. We had one earlier on. I've said it so many times before, if you're a driver like me, who spends most of his time at the back of the field, you love having safety cars every couple of laps. If you make an error, if you break a wing, it just brings you back. Just brings you back to the back of the field every time. But if you're one of the fast drivers, unlike me, it must be so frustrating that every time you build a bit of momentum, you build a bit of a gap to the car behind you, a safety car comes out and puts that car right back in your mirrors. Yeah, definitely. If you're one of the slower drivers, the safety car just keeps you in the race so that you can at least see other cars. One of the first leagues I was in had safety car switched off because of a glitch in that particular game, and it was a 100% league. And when you were as slow as me, try spending like 30 to 40 laps without seeing a car. Okay, I think the safety car is pulling off into the distance, so we are going to, or are we? I didn't see the confirmation. Yes, the safety car is coming into the pit, so we're going to have a restart. Pantry Star leaving it a little later than his teammate did when he did the restart. Alpine getting awfully close, almost looks like a Max Verstappen restart. Almost side by side as they go over the line. And now the Alpine attacks straight away. Ulrich into the lead, P1 up the inside. The Alfa Romeo defended, but not too aggressively. Now remember, these top two, Ulrich P1, Pantry P2, they are both on medium tyres that are quite considerably aged. Muller P3 is on a slightly older set of hards. And then from P4 down to P7, all on brand new sets of hards. So we've got lots of strategies in play here, just in the top 10. But another driver who decided to stay out, hold on to track position rather than switch strategies around for now is Afmagozi, I was going to say top performing Ferrari, but I just realized he's the only Ferrari. Things at Ferrari have gotten so bad that now they just run one car. Wow. Now those Williams will have appeared to have switched. This is more like the order they started in. Remember, John got a good start, Muller got a bad start. So if you're wondering why they're in these positions, it's because Muller made a pit stop under the first safety car and John has made a pit stop under the second safety car. So he's now behind his teammate, but he does have the fresher tyres. Not by much though, 4 laps fresher. Could come into play at the end. If you're really stretching those hards at the end, and you're just taking it a little bit too far, that last lap or two, the tarmac becomes ice. And whatever lead you've built up starts to fall ever so quickly. We've got a Williams getting out of shape on the exit of the hairpin onto the back straight. That is John. Just put the car a little sideways for a second. That's not going to help him at all because that's going to stunt his momentum. Top Gun did get a good exit and he got DRS, so now he's all over the back of the Williams. And that's all it takes. Make a little mistake on the exit and all of a sudden your competitor is all over your mirrors. Now you've got to hope that you can build a few consecutive laps of good lap times, pull away from that driver again, and then remember, all it takes is a silly error like that again, and you have to start all over. Ulrich leads the way. He's leading by a bit of a margin, 1.9 seconds, leads from Pantry Star. Moller P3 now. It's Ferree ever so briefly up into P4 and now back into P4. He's going side by side with an Alfa Romeo in a very crowded SS section. We had a bit of an internet jump there, but that was looking like an awesome battle. But it's Ferree, comes out on top. For now, he's in P4. Big T, P5, also looking at a potential podium, as is Loki, as is John, as is Top Gun. I think anyone there in the top 10 still has potential in this race. Remember, there's many different tyre strategies at play here, and all you need is a safety car. We've already had two that can really switch things up. Now it's Ferree battling the horse yet again. This time the horse comes out on top. Big T up into P4. And it's actually cost it's Ferree another position. He's gone off circuit. McLaren runs him off circuit there, it seems. I just think there was no space. And Loki P5, it's Ferree down to P6, and he was having some good momentum, so he'll be annoyed. But Big T now gets past Pantry Star and he's up into the podium positions. Moller still in P2. Remember, he's on a set of hards, but those hards are the oldest set of hards on the circuit, so when the hards do start to fall off, his will be the first to do so. Pantry Star has now fallen down the order. He's lost positions to Moller, Big T and Loki. He's now in P5 as I say that. There's the Alfa Romeo switch. It's Ferree up into P5. Pantry Star demoted to P6. Big T gets past Moller. Next target up the road is an Alpine on aging medium tyres. Tyres could yet decide this race. If pace is similar between these guys, tyres could be the factor. Difficult enough to get the tyre strategy right, but if you get a couple of safety cars, really messes things up. At the front, Ulrich leads the way. Big T, P2, 2 seconds that gap. Loki P3, no one in the top 3 within DRS. But as for P3, Moller looking to take that podium position back, and it's Ferree. He's in P5 and he wants to get back to the top of the field. He's got the pace, he just needs the clean air, needs to get out in front again. There we go. He does get by. I think he does. Yes, he does before the corner. That took him a little bit longer than he would have wanted, but that is the problem of the DRS train. The car in front of you gets DRS as well, and then you don't get that full advantage. You get a little advantage possibly because of slipstream, but the DRS effectively gets cancelled out by the car in front of you. So DRS train does make it just a little bit more difficult to pass. Do I think they will go for a one-stop with the hards? I think it's totally possible. There's got guys here that the hards are just 6 laps old, so it's still fresh. What I think will happen is, with the exception of Muller, everyone else on hards will try go to the end, and if there's a safety car, they will very quickly jump into the pits and get rid of those hards. But if there is no safety car, I think a few guys are going to at least attempt it. Ulrich still leads the way, but look at that gap. Look at that gap. That gap was 2 seconds, and now it's non-existent because Big T pulls alongside the Alpine and makes easy work of that. He gets past on DRS long before turn 1, long before the corner arrives, and Big T is the new leader, your winner from round 1. The only other driver to have won a race, a feature race that is, this season, besides your championship leader, it's Ferrari. Reminder of your driver's standings. Obviously it's Ferrari leads the championship. Big T, your leader right now, he's in P2. He could do with these points today. And then Pantry Star. Those are your top 3 in the championship at the moment. As far as the Constructors' Championship goes, Alfa Romeo is running away with it a little. Alfa Romeo lead the Constructors' Championship from Haas by 49 points. So this would be a very important result, not only for Big T, but for that Haas team. Second Haas down in P6. Ulrich falling back now. I believe those mediums are pretty much done. I think what he's doing is he's going to go as late as he can into the pits, so that he can finish this race on a set of softs. I think we may see him pit at the end of this lap. Looks like he's really struggling for grip. It's Ferrari. P3. He's not going to let Big T have the win of this race. He's going to fight till the end. We saw that pace in quali and it was scary pace. I think somebody should be racing on a Monday night. Up Mogosi now DNFs and leaves the session, so doesn't even hang around to watch. I think he must be a little annoyed. Usually hangs around a little bit, but that DNF did not trigger a safety car. So what I think these guys on hards are hoping for. I think they believe they can get to the end, but they know that at the end these tires are not going to be fun. So I think everyone waiting, hoping for a late safety car and then get rid of these tires and have a sprint to the end. Big T leads, 1.3 seconds is the gap, so crucially he's broken DRS. Ulrich in P2. He's going to soon come under pressure from this man here. It's Ferrari. He's also on a set of hards. as is the leader, Big T. Ulrich slightly out of place on those tyres, so we know he has to come in before the end of the race, so he's not going to hold on to that track position. So Tier2 is in a net second place. And I'd remind you that Tier2 and Big T, the Haas and the Alfa Romeo, that is P1 and P2 in the championship. So how much longer does Ulrich take these medium tyres? Impressive run on the mediums. And you can see he's losing time, but he isn't losing considerable amounts of time. It's tenth here and there, and he actually recovers it a little bit. So he's still getting pace out of those mediums, considering the condition they must be in. But he will definitely have to come into the pits. 9 laps to go. Further back in the field, we don't really have any battles. This is one we do have. It's John on the Red Bull. It's 0.3 of a second down the road. He's going to activate DRS. And that should be a pretty simple pass, and it is. John up into P9. Pantry Star. He's languishing down the order in P8. Probably thinking to himself, what happened there then? He was in a strong second position earlier on in this race. We mentioned Alfa Romeo leading this championship. He's down in P8. The two Haas are in P1 and P4. But Tier2 still crucially in second place. And now Ulrich has made that pit stop. And I think he did do what I thought he was doing. He extended those mediums as long as he could, so that he just had 8 laps at the end on the soft tyre, can really attack those tyres. How far back will he come out? Will it be worth it? Haas, Alfa Romeo, McLaren, that is your top 3. But Loki has sort of tuned out with the top 2. The gap between the top 2 and P3, 7.5 seconds. So Loki's just fallen adrift a bit. Top Gun in P4. Nobody really within DRS at the moment. Everybody just having a little race of their own. Ulrich in P8. Remember, he went into the pits, got that fresh set of softs, and he's going to have the best compound, the best grip, the best traction for the next 7 laps. Pantry Star dives into the pits. There's Ulrich, brand new set of softs. Watch these times, 3.5 seconds away from Muller. As he gets through turn 1, it's 3 seconds away from Muller. Made up half a second in turn 1. Wonder if Muller made a mistake. Surely that can't just be tyre grip. .1 seconds down the road from Muller. He's making up a lot of ground, and as soon as he's in DRS, there we go. Apmagozi has joined the comment section, joined the stream. Welcome, Apmagozi. You're on the other side of the thing now. I mean, usually I'm doing the typing, and so tell me a little bit about your race, Apmagozi. What happened at the end there? I see a DNF next to your name. At the front, Big T leads the way, but now that gap is just 9/10 of a second, and SAFRL will crucially be in the DRS, but even more crucial than that, Big T picks up a 3-second time penalty. And if he isn't able to open up a 3-second gap, this race could effectively be over. Ulrich sets the fastest lap of the race at 1:36.2. That is the effect of the softs. The effect of the softs. Ulrich, he has passed Moller, cleared that Williams in no time. Magosi blaming the retirement on a cramp. Well, we'll go with that one. Sort of like when Cristiano Ronaldo fakes an injury. Ulrich still trying to make his way through the field. His next target will be the McLaren of Mr. M. Another McLaren that's doing a great job is obviously Loki in P3. He spent most of the race in a podium position, and how cruel would it be to have that podium position stolen away in the closing stages of the race. But SAFRL will now see that penalty, and he'll know driver ahead of him has a 3-second penalty, and with a 9-second gap back to third place, SAFRL will know he really just has to sit on the gearbox of this car and he'll win the race. Doesn't need to take any risks, can wait for the mistake, and if the mistake doesn't happen, can really finish in this order and win the race. Just needs to stay close enough, make sure it doesn't fall 3 seconds adrift. There we go, Magosi getting a few laughs for faking his injury. Big T still leads, and now look at the gap. It's SAFRL, 3/10 of a second. Surely it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time, and SAFRL takes the lead before they get to the corner. And does he? The horse doesn't give up just yet. Fights back, but now he's going to have the inside for the next corner. And as long as he can get it stopped, then he does. There we go. I think SAFRL got some clean air, the clean air he's been craving. Magosi says that his foot was pointing in the other direction due to cramp. And as my old boss would say, then turn the pedals around. My old boss always had a solution for everything. What, your foot's the wrong way? Well, turn the pedals around. SAFRL. The horse hasn't given up on this battle. It may just be a battle for on-track position because of that penalty, but you've still got to push to the end. You don't know, does SAFRL have warnings? Could he get a penalty at the end and it would cancel everything out? You've got to push to the end. You can't just give up. Imagine you give up that pace and SAFRL gets a penalty on the final lap. You've got to keep pushing to the end. Loki, he's going to have to do exactly the same thing. He's going to have to push to the end because his podium is coming under serious threat from Alpine. Ulrich now goes side by side, does he? Yes, he does. He's got DRS, and surely nothing Loki can do. Tries to hang on as much as he can for that podium. But for the time being, all good things come to an end. Both Loki now off the podium. His teammate just behind him, actually, Mr. M. rather 3.3 seconds behind him, but the McLaren's P4 and 5. Big T is back in front. But unless SAFRL has a serious crisis, and Big T is able to find 2.7 seconds from here, and with SAFRL's pace tonight, I just don't think that is going to be the case. His teammate, Big T's teammate, Top Gun, is down in P6, also in a point scoring position, so P1 and P2 in the Constructors' Championship both have cars in the points. Pantry Star has just actually made up a position from P9 to P8. Picking up 4 points on his end. And SAFRL goes back into the lead of this race. And this time, can he stay there till the checkered flag? One thing, Big T for P1, that is the prediction in the comment section. Big T for P1. I think it would be fantastic to see, considering where he started in the field, but unfortunately for Big T, he's got a 3-second time penalty hanging over his name, and unless he can find some next level pace, dig deep into the pocket and show us pace we haven't seen all night, I just don't think he can open up that gap to 3 seconds. Moller now gets a 3-second time penalty. Big T loses a bit of momentum. Car went sideways a little bit, and I thought, is that the mistake? But there was just a little mistake, a loss of momentum. But that penalty will be the decider, and that is very unfortunate, because we could have a serious race on our hands with 2 laps to go. But every time we look up and see that penalty, you almost wish for SAFRL got a penalty just to give us one hell of a race to the end here. Fantastic driving here by these two. You see how close they're getting. You know they're pushing. They're on the limit. And they're still able to give each other space, not make contact. Just fantastic driving between the two Ferrari-powered teams, Alfa Romeo and Haas. As for Ferrari, well, they just ran the one car. Yeah, it's unfortunate how the 3-second time penalties work in this game. Obviously, you cut corners, you gain an advantage. It happens 3 times, you get a penalty. But we all know that many times, the corner you got a penalty at, you most certainly did not gain an advantage. Many times it's something silly. You run over a sausage curb, lose so much momentum, it penalizes you anyway, or you run wide. In fact, I got once a warning for track limits while I was running over a gravel trap. And if that is an advantage, well, the Haas looks to retake the lead. It was so close. Every time I see that slight lock-up, I think, here we go. But they just keep on avoiding each other, and they keep on showing an example of great driving at the front. Ulrich, remember him? He came in, put on a set of softs with just 8 laps to go, and he was going to give it everything. Well, he has given it everything. He's made it up into P3, don't think he's going to make any more progress than that. He's 6.9 seconds adrift from P2, so this may be as far as he gets. But what a performance by him to come back into this race. So many drivers will have just hung their head. When the race goes bad, you just sort of start losing interest, start making more and more mistakes, and your race just goes, it accelerates in the wrong direction. But he hasn't let that happen. He changed the strategy, he mixed it up, and for tonight, as things stand, it's most certainly worked for him. These two still together. What a race it would have been if penalties had not been the deciding factor. Remember, worst case scenario, these two run into each other and Ulrich pulls out the win of all wins. Luckily, I don't think we'll see contact. That's an Alfa Romeo and a Haas, not two Mercedes-Benz. I think if it was two Mercedes-Benz, I'd be a little bit more nervous. I'd show you further back in the field, but we have no battles further back in the field. The only cars that are relatively close together are the McLarens, and I don't think we're going to see a late pass between those two. Mr. M does lead Loki. It's P4 and 5. And it's free. Goes around the final corner. Goes over the line. From pole position to P1. And no question there in that victory. Ulrich does go P3. He lands up 2.8 seconds adrift from Big T as a result of his penalties. And again, we'll just wait for the final results because there's way too many penalties here. Muller over the line. Next one over the line will be Pantry Star. Does pick up a position as a result of penalties. So we're still going to see a mix-up here. John goes over the line in the second. Williams next over the line will be the sole remaining Red Bull for P10. Then Tiley Boy. Now we await the arrival of Kratos. He will appear any second now. And then Gotzi was obviously ghosting at the end there. So we're not going to see him come over the line, but what a race it was. It's Ferrari dominating in qualifying. And then in the race, he had an awesome race with Big T, but Big T had that penalty at the end. And it kind of put a dampener on everything. We await the official results. As you can see, nothing on our screens for now. And there we go. Let's go a little bit earlier so I don't run out of time this time. There's your official results. It's Ferrari from pole position to the win. Then even more impressive than that, Big T started in P14, ended up in P2 with just the one stop throughout the race. Ulrich finished P3, had to switch up the strategy, but it worked out for him. Mr. M, P4, Loki P5, Top Gun P6, Pantry Star, up and down race for him. He landed up in P7, Moller P8, John in P9, Rockwell P10. Then outside your top 10, we've got Tiley Boy P11, Kratos P12, I believe Gotzi was ghosting, and then 3 retirements, Apmagozi, Stig, and Maggot. I want to thank you all. Thank you everybody who joined tonight, everybody who joined the stream, and everybody who's going to listen to this either later on tonight or later on in the week. I see most of our views come after the stream. So thank you to everybody who watched. Thank you to everybody who contributed in the comment section, and thanks to all the drivers for some fantastic racing out there. We will be back next week as per normal. Tier 1 on a Monday, Tier 2 on a Wednesday, 8:15. See you then. Cheers, guys.